All right, welcome to a special edition episode of Guarantee News. It is Monday, August 19th, 2024, and I'm your host, Garrett Sims. Now, we're doing something a little bit different this week. The Guarantee News episodes are going to be broken down into specific videos. Guarantee News, it's supposed to be hard news, pause, show, movie, TV news, sports news, and entertainment news. And usually it's live 3 times a week, and I just do I just do all the stories in one live. I'm about to start doing something a little bit differently. This is going to be the first of videos that are like specifically made for the topics I'm talking about. This one right here is Guarantee News, hard news. No pause. I'm going to stop saying it. So this is just a video that I'm recording specifically for me to just talk about the news that's going on today. There's going to be a specific sports one. There's going to be a specific movie and show one. And then entertainment we'll go and see about. I may throw that within with one of the others if I don't think it should be long enough. But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for this week at least, we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to make at least one of these videos covering the stories that I have for today. Again, this is the hard news story, so we're going to be talking about politics, we're going to be talking about war, and we're going to be talking about a little bit of something that's been going on my Twitter feed the last couple of days that I'm noticing, and I'm trying to figure out if it's just like my Twitter feed or if other people are seeing this, or kind of what's this new little media push that's going on my side of Twitter at least. But with that, we're going to start off with politics because, anything with news right now, it's going to be speaking on politics. It's going to be speaking about Kamala. It's going to be speaking about the election. So for the first story today, we have the Democratic National Convention starting at 7 p.m. tonight. So I have this USA Today article. We're going to go through it. It's giving live updates. The Democratic National Convention is in Chicago. Everybody was scared about the riots that may be going on with Israel. Everyone's talking about who's going to be speaking. This is thinking of like an introduction to Kamala. That's like what it's formally being billed as. So let's go through this article, get some updates, and then I'll have some promises for you guys on keeping up with this convention throughout the week. But let's get straight to it. All right. Can you guys see that? All right. So the Democratic National Convention is here. Over the next 4 days, Democrats will make their pitch to voters across the country from their Chicago convention. The moment caps off a tumultuous few months for the party, stretching from President Joe Biden's disastrous debate performance against former President Donald Trump to his decision not to seek re-election. Vice President Kamala Harris's rise to the top of the ticket and her choosing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. Sorry, I couldn't talk there for a second. So much has happened to lead up to this Democratic National Convention. You have to realize before the terrible debate by Joe Biden, this is the first Democratic National Convention that's been in person since like 2016 because there was COVID, something crazy, right? Then everybody knows this was set up to be a celebration of Joe Biden, what he did for the last 4 years of his history as a politician. That debate, that debate will go down in the history books as like one of the most monumental moments in an election because the debate happened, then Joe Biden dropped out. Well, then Trump got almost assassinated, then Joe Biden jumped out. Then all of this happened, and this switches what the Democratic National Convention has become. It was before a celebration, now it's a welcoming party. Less as a celebration, but a welcoming party to this new person and to the future of the Democratic Party. But let's keep going. Over the week, Democrats will be focused on the future, telling Americans how a potential Harris-Walz administration would address inflation, the southern border, abortion rights, and other top debates facing the nation. These are the top debates: inflation and immigration. And then keep in mind this as well. This is focused on the future. This is what the entire, like any debate you watch by Kamala lately, it's all in the future. That's like the messaging in the mode. And we know Kamala, she's not really getting up and speaking. She's not really getting up and speaking on camera unless it's like written out for a prompt. All of this is like planned. So this theme of the future is really important that's what they're running the campaign on. So Chicago braces for Democratic convention protests as Kamala Harris takes center stage. The city's 12,000 police officers say they're ready. The Secret Service says it's ready. Local leaders say they're ready. Residents, maybe not so much. An estimated 500,000 delegates, politicians, and party activists are expected to attend this week's Democratic National Convention in Chicago, with possibly tens of thousands of demonstrators marching through the streets. Fences, barricades, and parked snowplows have already limited movement in key downtown areas, with helicopters buzzing overhead. They're really getting ready. These are pro-Palestinian protests that they're worried about. And they were, in all last week, what they were trying to do was Biden was trying to get a ceasefire, so maybe that of Israel and Iran and Hamas, because he was thinking maybe if the ceasefire happens and these debates are not going to happen. We'll get to this later in this video or this episode, but they're nowhere close to a ceasefire as much as they say they are. And every single week you hear about one or the other bombing the other one again, and how the other one now is going to attack them, and now how America is going to have to keep supporting it. There's nowhere close to a ceasefire, so these protests, these showings are going to happen, and basically everything that Chicago is trying to do, the police officers, the Secret Service, they're trying to make them seem as safe, and they're trying to not let them take away from this celebration or this introduction to Kamala. So that's going to be something to keep an eye out on. Let's see. I don't want to read this part. Some Trump voters are denying Harris's progress, but others say they're worried. Many supporters of former President Donald Trump, the Republican nominee who attended a rally in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania on Saturday, expressed skepticism about Democratic nominee Harris's rise in the polls. They projected confidence that Trump has the race under control, although others though were nervous. The MAGA movement's mood Saturday, a month into a change race that has seen Harris surging nationally and in key states, percolated the arena with a mix of emotions. If you look at the question right now is whether or not you believe the polls. Because if you're looking at any polls right now, 8 out of 10 of them are in Kamala's favor. And that's if you look at nationally. If you look at the swing states, which I keep saying those matter the most, all of them are saying Kamala is in the lead. Whether it be slight, whether it's in the margin of error, it's saying mostly that Kamala's in the lead. And the margin of error is basically like 2 or 3%. So if I say Pennsylvania is a swing state and they're doing a new poll this week and it says that Kamala Harris, don't worry about these numbers not being at 50%. I'm just throwing stuff out there. 47% are for Kamala. 44% are for Trump. And then that other percentage is like independents or whatever. Maybe they're RDK or whatever. And the margin of error is 2 or 3%. That means it would be in that margin of error to where, since it's 47 Kamala, 45 Trump, you don't know who's winning. So a lot of them are in the margin of error, but the margin of error still has Kamala winning. Now, if you don't believe the polls, that's a different thing, because you could say, who's getting polled? Are you getting an accurate answer of the entire country? Are people answering honestly? It's just so much of how do people feel right now that could be different in 3 months when they go into the voting ballot, with, how the media is portrayed, how these people are being talked about, what's coming out. There's a reason to say you don't believe polls, but if you're going to just say the polls just aren't saying that Kamala's, then you're not being truthful. And that's what Donald Trump is kind of doing right now. But the polls, they say that Kamala's ahead. So whether you believe him or not is a different story. Wait, Kamala Harris is already the nominee. This is basically saying how the Democratic National Convention is to make the actual nominee. If you watched the Republican National Convention, a big part of it on Monday was like counting up the votes. Obviously, we knew it would be Trump, but that's what it is. To say who it is, count up the votes, and decide then. So Kamala, there's some that said there should have been an open convention for when Joe Biden dropped out. Obviously, that didn't happen, and they pretty much swept Kamala in, and that's the conversation around, hey, did Kamala deserve this? Is she supposed to be here, or did it get handed to her? But, she's already the nominee, and this says that. Traditionally, delegates from all 50 states in the U.S. territories assemble at a convention and elect their chosen party's candidate for president. It's a time to trumpet achievements, criticize opponents' policies, and rally behind their leaders to build enthusiasm for Election Day. It's a competition to the greatest makes it out of the fire. That's what this is saying. Democrats are still going out to lay their vision for the country during the Democratic convention, but the actually nominating process looks different this year. That's because the DNC confirmed Harris was during a virtual roll call on August 5th due to ballot deadlines in some states, with 99% of the participating delegates supporting Harris. This is getting into that there was a rush. They had to get Kamala in fast, and people are saying, they did it quietly behind the back doors. It was a Zoom video, but that's that conversation of if Kamala deserves it, because she's already the nominee before the DNC. But it is what it is, I guess. How to watch. Democratic convention reveals theme for each night of the Chicago event. I think this is important, the theme. The Democratic National Committee announced the nightly themes for this week's convention in Chicago, which will culminate with Kamala Harris accepting the party's nomination for president. The title of the 4-day convention is For the People, for the Future. So this is what this is. The title for the convention is For the People, for Our Future, with Democrats hoping to use the festivities to introduce Harris and Tim Watts to the nation. Before I keep reading, I want to stay on this theme of it being for the people, for our future. That's what the Kamala Harris, like how Trump is Make America Great Again. I forget what, I think like Obama's was like Believe or We Can. What was Obama's campaign slogan? I think it was like We Believe. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. This is what Kamala's is, like, for the future. We're going towards the future. And I think it's so easy to do that. Or not easy, but I think that's a brilliant strategy, at least, because you make Trump the past. And that's what Trump is. Make America Great Again. He's going to the past just off of his slogan. And then you have the past of, we don't want to go back to what Donald Trump just was 4 years ago. And it's to make people remember what Trump was like 4 years ago. I mean, it's a genius idea, right? But it's just like, you have to tell us what the future is, clearly. You can't just say, let's go to the future, and we're not going back to the past without accurately and clearly painting a picture of what the future is. And Kamala refuses to do that, and it seems like she's not doing that because of strategy, and no one else seems to be mad at her. And I don't think she's going to do it, because she's not going to have to. But I think that's interesting. It's good strategic planning, but it's so ironic that you're saying for the people, for the future. And one of the main arguments of Kamala is it is so many questions about what her plan for the future really is. And a lot of people know they don't want Donald Trump, but they want a reasoning for the future. And I think that's kind of where that trust and not trust with Kamala comes in, of you're talking about the future, but you don't give any real plans for it. But the convention kicks off today, Monday, with the theme of For the People. So that first part of the slogan. Tuesday theme is A Bold Vision for America's Futures. And Wednesday's convention theme is A Fight for Our Freedoms. Then the convention will include Thursday night with the theme For Our Future. So they're bookshelfing it. They're bookending it. So the whole thing is For the People, for Our Future. Monday is For the People. Thursday is For Our Future, and then in between you have A Bold Vision for America's Future and A Fight for Our Freedoms. And then I have another picture. I didn't send it to myself. I should have been more prepared, but everybody's going to be talking during this convention. They're going to have as many famous people as they can. They're going to have as many Democrats, the Clintons, the Obamas are speaking. So I can just say that right out the gate, but I want to tell you the dates, exactly what dates certain people are speaking. Then if you look at this Hollywood Reporter article, I just want to read the headline. Kerry Washington, Mindy Kaling among stars tapped to serve as DNC hosts. Tony Godwin and Anna Navarro will also take the stage at the 4-day event, which kicks off Monday in Chicago. The famous people. Trump had Kid Rock, Dana White. These are people that the Republicans want. They're going to have Kerry Washington, Mindy Kaling. You got to have the famous people there. And then I'll show this picture. This is like a clip that I got. I mean, can you guys see this? Hold on. Let me put it right in front of. Can you guys see that? Yeah. This is who's speaking. Maybe you can't see this. This is who's speaking at the DNC. Monday, it's going to be Joe Biden. Monday's going to be Joe Biden, First Lady Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton. So these is today. Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton speaking tonight. Tuesday, Doug Emhoff. Let's look up who he is. This is why we film on camera. Doug Emhoff. An American lawyer who is second gentleman of the United States. Oh, this is Kamala's husband. Don't even know who he was. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Tuesday night is going to be Kamala's husband, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Governor J.B., the governor of Illinois. Makes sense. All right, so this is Tuesday. So Tuesday we got this guy, the governor of Illinois. We have Kamala Harris's husband, and we have the Obamas on Tuesday. Tuesday is way better than tonight because we have Clinton, Joe Biden, and Joe Biden. So from Joe, we're going to get a red statement, very calm, very cool, very collected. Don't say too much. Kamala's great. She's ready for this. We've trained her. Hillary, who knows what she's going to say? She said she's going to speak about the glass ceiling with Hillary tonight and being a woman and getting through that and those struggles. And then Joe Biden. Tuesday, we got Kamala's husband, the Obamas, governor of Illinois. I'm excited for the Obamas getting this. It's always fun to see one of the best orators of my time speak. That is Barack Obama. Then Wednesday, we have Governor Tim Walz, Bill Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Pete Buttigieg. You know all those people. That's a pretty good lineup. Excited to see Bill, Tim, Nancy Pelosi, and then Thursday we wrap it up. Kamala, she's the only one. So that is everything with that. I mean, good speakers. That's the start team. It's the start team. I think there'll be great speeches, and I'm excited to see kind of the theme they're going on and how it works for the American people, and we will keep up with that. But that is all I have for this. Next, I want to get in. Do I want to do the Israel-Iran update? We can do that quickly, but let me go to YouTube really quickly. Bear with me. Let me go to YouTube really quick. We're going to play something really quickly while I use the bathroom. Southern trap music. 2 minutes. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Realistically, I'm forgetting this isn't live. If you don't want to watch this, fast forward like 2 minutes. I'm about to go to the bathroom. Coffee's running through me. And let me start it over. I want my 2 minute clock exactly so I can know when to come back. Hold on. Yeah, this is
high as fuck, I hit the 2-lane switch. 2 cups like I got twins. She wanna know what the fuck I do. Wanna know where the fuck I been. Get your bitch in the bedroom like Beckham, make it bend. You know lil' shawty, a big body bends, poking through the skin. How the fuck you thick and you slim? How the fuck he never put it down to let me hit it then? The first time I got it, it's like crack, I need to hit again. Made me float up in my bed, shawty wetter than a river. Shop at Dover Street Market, damn near through it, Neiman Marcus. Pull up to the curbside, let the valet park it. Yeah, my old bitch, she got bird ties, we don't talk too often. Pull up in the coupe with frog eyes, sleeping while you walking. You ain't got the answers, that's what Ye said. I could never cut you off, cause you got great weight. Low when you walk, cause that shit moving like a shake weight. Plus you got great taste, and you know how to save face. We got rich as fuck just cause we had connection. Cut that nigga off, ain't past the intersection. You wanna get like me, then follow my directions. Just tell your niggas go and get it, count your blessings. It ain't about me, just about the team that I be reppin'. Go a little harder since the day I lost my brethren. She wanna crash out cause I don't want her, how you reckless. I wish that girl the best, cause she out here moving headless. I could've fucked your bestie by the way that she tried to press me, but I know she moving messy. This V8, I'm gon' rev it. 1080 in the engine, 1080 for some shoes. You say that I was tripping, but yeah, niggas finished, nigga. Yeah. From time to time, I don't know what to do, so I don't do shit at all.
Get up to 6 accounts per household and unlimited DVR space included. With YouTube TV. Try it free. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.
6 times. I really had to tell Shorty don't call. 6 Six track. Unless you bring.
Can say I'm a lot of things, but never say I'm not a man of my words. 2 minutes. A little bathroom break. We're right back to it. This is like something I don't want to talk about for a long time. The next story, let me see. I just want to give a quick update on, or in whatever, I want to give an update in probably like the smallest or like less important sense of the term or sense of the word on just the Israel and Gaza war, and just how it connects to the DNC this weekend. Or this week, everybody was expecting for there to be protests and everything. I've talked about that. And they've been preparing for it. And to try to get this away, they've been talking about, last week, they were talking about a ceasefire deal. This is all I'm going to say, just to give an update on this. Israel's military says its soldiers are operating in central, can't pronounce this, which has so far largely been spared from ground fighting, further forcing Palestinians into just 11% of the Gaza Strip. Israeli forces wounded Palestinian journalists covering the expanding ground invasion of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza after shooting her in the back. So basically, these are giving updates on it. Basically, this isn't ending anytime soon. That's what I'm saying. We're not going to get a ceasefire before the election. That's my thing on this. There's no way to stop. Every single time you hear that they're having a deal, every week they have a deal and then they stop it. The other one is bombing the other one to get revenge on the other one. Like, it's not, this is nowhere near a ceasefire deal. And that means, I had to take that. And that means I'm expecting, not out of bad, but just I'm expecting what the protests this week at the DNC are going to be and how much they affected. But this was just to give you an update. If you want to read this, they're still going back and forth on each other, and there's nowhere close to a ceasefire. So, yeah. Now, with this, I just want to talk about something else that's been interesting. So, Candace Owens, Dan Bilzerian, if you don't know who they are, Candace Owens is basically just a far-right. She's a far-right journalist, basically. MAGA, people say she's a coon, love her or hate her. She's just not a walking Democrat, so I guess that's something about her I appreciate. But Candace Owens, you've seen the face before. And Dan Bilzerian, if you don't know him, he's a professional poker player, businessman. He's basically known for just having sex with a lot of women and like recording it and recording the lifestyle of being basically hedonistic, which is just being with men, being with women, taking drugs, just living off of pleasure. Now you may be saying who cares about these people? And even just putting them together, I can see probably why they're doing this and why you wouldn't agree with them or why you can easily ignore them. But something that just has been interesting me, just going off the Israel war, the Israel and Gaza wars, just this weekend, the interviews and the stuff that's come out with these two specifically and the people around them, just how much they've been bashing Jewish people in Israel in this war, and it's anti-Semitism. But what's interesting, I'm not gonna play the videos, but go look at them if you want. I'll play a little bit of them. But the thing that's interesting with me is, why are they speaking up right now? What are they trying to accomplish? Like, are they really doing this for the right reasons? Like, why is this becoming something that I've just been seeing on my page a lot recently this weekend? And why is this something that is becoming big now? Like, just this, like, these famous people with big names that you wouldn't think would be coming out against Jewish people. And you would think of these people as being towards the right, which for my head and somewhere in my head, I would think that the Jews would be with the right. Like, it's just confusing. It kind of feels like counterintuitive, I guess, to me, that Candace Owens, this big Republican, and Dan Bilzerian, who is, I'm sure, a Trump fan that is known for being rich and white and all that, you're going against Jewish people who seem to be like fans of white, or like toe and toe. You know what I'm saying? Is this making sense? But Candace Owens bringing back anti-Semitic lies again and reminding us that every Nazi is by definition also an anti-Zionist. This text is from Adolf Hitler, Mein Kampf. I'm not going to read this, but I'll go with him too, because hers was kind of seemed more like she was a little bit off her rocker. His seemed more calm and like, bro, why is he so calm saying all this wild shit? But let's watch this. Let's watch a couple of these.
I mean, these politicians are right. I mean, there's two reasons to run for president.
Right.
Because you're a good person and you want to do good.
Okay.
Or because you want fucking money.
Sure.
And fame. That's it. It's the only reason somebody would join
a
president.
good person
Or you want money and fame.
And fame.
That's it.
2 reasons why you run.
Why else would you?
Why do you think Trump's reason is?
Money and fame.
You think he wants money and fame?
100%.
You think Trump's running because he wants money and fame?
100%.
He has money. He is famous.
He wants people to love him. He wants attention. I mean, he was doing like reality shows for Christ's sakes. Like he wants more money.
I totally get it, but you think he is more, you know, he is, how much you think it matters for Trump to be liked?
I think he wants people to like him.
Okay, yeah. So if that's the case, he should have never ran, because ever since he ran, people don't like him.
I get it. Well, I mean, but the fame is like that. I mean, fame is polarizing. Like, you know, I mean, there's very few people that become famous that don't have people hate them. I mean, it comes with the territory. Like, if you want to be loved, you're going to be hated as well. It's just, that's the way it is. In 2014,
he could have been invited to Beyonce and Jay-Z's party in 2014. In 2014, he would have been invited to, you know, what NAACP in 20. He went to everything. So
one thing to be invited to parties, another thing to have internet.
And to give some context, basically, Dan Bilzerian is basically saying, like, our politicians are making decisions not for the best of America. He's making the argument, like, why the fuck do we do so much for Israel when Israel doesn't do shit for us? And he thinks Donald Trump is, like you said, for money and fame. But he's basically saying that, like, our politicians are coming in and making decisions to make a lot of money that don't better the country but better other people. And he's saying that Israel is that. And to give some more context with what because he's saying a lot of fried shit. And if there is a conversation about, and this is this guy's podcast, can't think of his name, but Dan Bilzerian went on the PBD podcast host, Patrick Bet David. Let me see. I want to see his name. Is that him? Patrick Bet David, this guy. So it's his podcast. Dan Bilzerian went on there. They started talking about Jews for like and they started talking about Jewish people in Israel for half the podcast, or like halfway through the podcast, and just spent the rest of it talking. I want to also say, if there is like a thing where people are scared of Jewish people to say things or out of fear and they want to respect them, he was dick eating Jews hard. Like Dan Bilzerian was kind of like trying to like talk, like he was like kind of like trying to like, well, not even trying to, he was just disrespecting Jewish people and saying whether you think it's true or not. But this guy, whether it's for out of reasons because he thinks it's really hateful or what, but he was on Jewish dicks. Just thought I'd make that comment because it was almost like, bro, it was just kind of like, it didn't,
constantly refer to the Holocaust when they're the biggest Holocaust deniers on the fucking planet. They denied the Armenian Holocaust, which, you know, like half of my people got wiped out, half of your people got wiped
He's talking about Jewish people right here.
out. They denied that. So I don't think it's right for them to whine about the Holocaust and force feed every single fucking children, all the fucking children and students this fucking Holocaust narrative and hijack the entire fucking World War II and make it about the fucking Jews when like 85 million people fucking died during World War II. It wasn't all about the fucking Jews, but they make every movie about the fucking struggling Jews and how they had to fucking endure all this stuff. And yet, you know, they can't recognize the Armenian Holocaust. We lost half our population. They didn't lose half their population. Israel's committed, you know, so many terrorist
Comparing genocides is never a good thing.
attacks. They're stealing land right now. They're operating apartheid. They're currently committing a genocide.
You can view this as someone that's just being blatantly honest about what's going on, or someone that is being very hateful. Like the thing that's me, and I need to do more research about the Israel and Palestinian conflict in Israel and everything with that. But the thing with me is how loud he's being about it and what's going to happen, because it makes me think of Kanye. Kanye was not doing anything near this bad. And Kanye, you see what happens to Kanye. Nike or Adidas gone. Music, when he puts music out now, it's hard to find it on any streaming service. Like, there is a blackball of Kanye, and obviously Kanye didn't give a fuck, but I just want to see if he's going to be, like, this guy's getting on a podcast and saying this. This shit is crazy to see someone just say blatantly, whether it's honest or true, because there's, like, a thing in the back of everyone's mind where it's like, you just don't say this about Jewish people. It's just not, you just don't do it. It's in the back of all of our heads. The question is, you can maybe ask is, why is that? But, and another question that's curious to me is, like, why does he feel so comfortable to say all this out loud. And the reason he's doing it, he says, is because he thinks it's the right thing to do. Hey, I think Israel and Jewish people are doing all this stuff wrong, and no one's fucking talking up about it. And I feel like I have so much money, I've been so successful in life, that I should feel like I should say the right thing. And this is him, the right thing. My question is, like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna like lose his career and everything because he can say it, like, because he's saying this? Same with Candace Owens. And my also question is just like he's just so calm about it. It's just interesting.
Muslims aren't the problem. The open borders and motherfuckers and the media attacking nationalism, pushing DEI, transgenderism, and destroying moral values are the problem. August 4th. If you don't put America first as a U.S. politician, you are committing treason. Supporting Israel is bad for America. Netanyahu is a convicted war criminal, and Israel is not our ally. We fought way too many wars for Israel, and we certainly don't need to give them any more money. July 25th. These idiots have ruined movies. Everything they put out is literally...
He's saying it's just a lot of this. It's a lot of this. He's like standing on business about this dislike of Jewish people. It's crazy, but... Okay, that is all for this news episode of Guaranteed News. This hard news episode on a Monday, if you have watched all of this, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Leave a comment if you like the lifestyle better, if you like this better, if you can choose what you like. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notifications for every time I post. Subscribe to GS Studios on TikTok, GSTEWDIOS. Thank you for watching again. Have a great rest of your day and be safe out there. More updates on the Democratic National Convention, Israel, and anything else hard news coming on Wednesday. No pause. Peace.